I come from Kurdistan. I am almost 22 years ago. I came from Kurdistan. That's a part of Iraq. I came here because I was scared for my life. I was a refugee. I couldn't stay in my own country. In my country at that time was the war. There was a war between Iraq and Iran, and then the later was the war between the Iraq. He was taking Kuwait over, and then all other lots of countries in the world, they want to take Kuwait back. Then was very Iraq was a mess. It was war, problems. You couldn't stay there, but I just escaped there from there, and I came to Turkey, and I stayed in Turkey about 2.5 years, and then I want to go to some European country. I didn't know where, because I didn't have a choice. I went to Greece. I want to go from Greece farther to other countries. Then they catch me and they send me back, and then I send me back to Turkey, and from Turkey I did the second try, and then they catch me again, and it was terrible. It's a long story, but anyway, I came later. I could come to Holland, and when I came to Holland, I couldn't speak the language. It was very difficult. I didn't know any person, and they just put me in an asylum seeker refugee center, and then I stayed there about 1 year, and then they gave me an apartment in Bussum, in Bussum, and then I tried to study language and to study physics and math. Then about 2 years I finished all of them. Then I started to be a teacher. And the beginning was very difficult because the students, they didn't understand me, and it was very, very tiring. But I tried, and I could speak Dutch much better still. And I have also, they were also nice to me, because sometimes I told them that I am a refugee, I came from that country, and they helped me with the language, the students. And I I like it. I like my job, and I like it a lot, and to continue my work. And then I worked 11 years in other school in Laren, and now I'm almost 8 years here. Here is much better because I like the students. They know me, and we understand each other, and they give me space to be myself, and they listen in the lessons, and I can tell them more physics and math in this school. My previous school was difficult. It was a VMBO school. That's in short. I told you my life.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we've got a few questions for you.
Yes.
Can you tell us about your experience in your country before you came to the Netherlands?
Yes, of course I can tell. When I was a child, I was living with my family. We were 8 children, and my father and mother. My father worked in the hospital. He worked many days, always. And my mother just staying at home. My mother only finished elementary school, basic school, and my father has more knowledge about medicines. He was like a nurse, and I have good life. I love my country. Kurdistan is beautiful, all mountains. But later I went to college and everything, and yes, and then later came here. But when I was a student on the university, I was very happy, but there was lots of problems, like political problems.
Yes.
What did you know about the Netherlands before you came here?
Yes, I knew about Netherlands some things, not a lot. For example, I knew that the radio, my father had the radio Philips, and he loves the radio. He told me always, this radio is the best radio ever, because it's made in Holland. And that's, I remember this when I was very small. And of course, I know at school they teach us about the Rembrandt paintings. The Rembrandt, he was a very famous painter, and he could draw very nice tableaus like impression. I don't know.
Paintings.
Yeah, paintings, and it is nice colors. And
Yeah.
I know about Van Gogh. Van Gogh more than Rembrandt, to be
Yeah.
honest. And and I know about cheese. Holland is very famous about the cheese and the milk. But because we only get the cheese, we don't get the milk really. But there was also the concentrate milk. We use it to drink at the morning. You know, the milk is concentrated in a like blik. A can, yes.
Okay.
This is what I know about Holland. Of course, I know more. For example, I know Minister van der Stoel. He was very nice person. He was working at the UN commissaris. He was
Commissionary.
commissioner, yeah. He was a very important person, and he made an investigation about the criminality of Saddam Hussein.
Okay. All right. How did you come in the Netherlands?
Yeah, that's a long story. I told you a little bit about that at the beginning. I came walking and with the animals like horses, and I came from Iraq to Turkey, and very terrible journey, very dangerous, and we were scared. There was lots of people. They were just walking from the mountains, and very difficult mountains, like very high and cold, and it is very unknown the ways how to go to village to take some food, or to just take rest, or to not be cold. It's a long story, but anyway we could reach Turkey, and then they gave us some food and medicines and some like blankets to sleep, and we were just like safe. But from Turkey to Holland, also a long story. But anyway, I tried twice in my own to go to Greece, from Greece to try to come to Holland or any other country. But it was not that easy. You are 3 days, you are just walking to go to Rotterdam, and when they catch you in Rotterdam, you cannot go to Belgium, for example, and they just bring you back when was the car 1 hour. You were walking 3 days, and they bring you back to where you were for 1 hour. So all your efforts and all your tiredness and everything you did for nothing, and that's very disappointing.
How long did you think it took to travel from Kurdistan to the Netherlands? Like in
How
total?
long the time you mean, or
Yes.
the kilometers?
The time?
Time. Yeah, I did about 3.5 years. 3.5 years, or about 3 years. I was on my way to Holland.
And how old were you when you decided
I
to-
was 33. I was when I came to Holland. I was 33 years old, and when I was starting to go to Holland, I mean to escape from Iraq, I was about 30 or 31 years old.
What are the biggest difficulties for a child in your country?
For a child,
Yes.
Kurdistan?
child in Kurdistan, because the biggest problem is the safety, the security. The children are not really safe, because any time could happen some war, could happen some conflicts, or some like bombardments from the governments, and I was as a child I was always scared. If I see the plane in the sky, I am sure I was running and I was hiding myself. And when I became bigger and older, and when I was in Turkey, I see the plane in the sky. I was running and I was hiding, and I tell myself why I'm doing that. It is not. And then I just like wake up from some nightmare. It's not real. The plane is not military. It's like bringing some people, and then it's like transport. Then I woke up and I told myself, okay, now I am not scared. I see when I'm in Naarden, where I live, sometimes I see planes, I'm not really scared. But at the beginning, we were really scared.
Alright.
What do you think about the Netherlands?
I think Netherlands is a very nice country. It's a good organized country. I love the people, I love the country. It's very nice to be in Holland. It's very really. They gave me chance to learn the Dutch language. They teach me. People helped me before, and also I get the chance to the opportunity to go to university to continue my study as a teacher, as a physician. And I mean, I finished College of Science in Iraq, and the Department of Physics.
Mm-hmm.
Then in Holland, they gave me the chance to continue and then became a teacher, because I made choice to be teacher. And Holland is a beautiful country, and the people they are understanding, most of them, and there's lots of opportunities to grow up here, to develop yourself. But I'm sorry, my English is not very well.
No, that's fine.
No problem. Do the kids have access to good quality education in Kurdistan?
Yes. At the moment, yes, but also not, because the war situation is not finished, and then sometimes because of the war, the schools are closed and they are just like scared, and that's a problem. But still, the Kurdish authority in Kurdistan, where my family lives, still, my mother, my nephews, my cousins, everybody is there. I have only one brother in Holland, and they have good schools. They have like American schools, very nice schools, Turkish schools. They teach them English very well. I see my nephews, my cousins, they speak fluent English, and I'm now just stay behind. Before I remember they couldn't speak, and people was just like speaking just little bit English, and now they are just very good. They have good education.
Do they face discrimination, or do they fear for their safety because of their belief, their religion, or their race?
Yeah, of course there are always something like this there, but in the area where my family and the Kurdish people live in general, the Kurdish people, they have authority at the moment. Before, when I was a child or when I was a youth, there was lots of discrimination, but now not really.
Okay, that's good to hear.